Hi, my name is Tak, and welcome to the first episode of How to Camera, the YouTube channel where I show you how to camera. Today's episode is going to be on the different types of cameras. These are questions that I'm sure you have if you've ever researched just a little bit about cameras or gone shopping for cameras at all. Now, there are other types of formats or types of cameras out there, but those are generally very specialized. And in this video, I'm going to discuss sort of the most mainstream cameras that you'll often find. And first, we're going to discuss the point and shoot cameras. These generally offer the fewest features when it comes to camera settings. There aren't fancy dials that allow you to change the camera settings, which we'll discuss in a later video. But these do the job. They take photos, they take videos. If that's all you really want, and you don't necessarily need to know and you don't necessarily want to know about all the fancy terminology and whatnot of a camera, this will be just fine for you. Something that's appealing to me, at least, about these cameras is that this is the entire package. And best part, this fits in your pocket. A lot of the cameras that we're going to see later on won't fit in your pocket with the lens. Also, fun fact about these point and shoot cameras, there's a fun little nickname for them in Cantonese that roughly translates to dummy camera. Now, I don't know if they're calling the people who use these cameras dummies, or if they're calling the camera dummy. For what it's worth, I don't think you're a dummy if you want to use these cameras. These are very simple. You just want to take photos for your family trip. Go no further. Although I suppose, it begs the question, if you have a phone, why do you need one of these? Now, I actually have an older version of the point and shoot, this Canon Ixus. It shoots film. It is at least over 20 years old. And as you can see, not much has changed. And the lens collapses into itself like so. It's telescopic, just like the new one. And as you can see, it's still pretty compact, even though it's 20 years old. And if you're curious, this is where you put the film. I don't know how well you can see that. Interesting stuff. The next one I'm going to talk about is mirrorless cameras. Now, these cameras are kind of the next step up from point and shoots, and they'll offer you generally more features and easier controls over your camera settings. And I have one here. This is the NEX C3. It says 16.2 megapixels. It is a very old camera, but something that mirrorless cameras allow you to do that point and shoots don't is the ability to remove your lens. What this basically does is it allows you more control over what you're shooting, whether it's photos or video. The last format I'm going to discuss with you is the DSLR. Now, these cameras are generally chunkier than the mirrorless cameras. Mirrorless cameras, as you can tell, fairly compact, but this one is specifically smaller, and we're going to discuss that later on. DSLR cameras, chunkier, look kind of like this. This camera has sort of the same feel as many of the modern DSLRs. And DSLRs have a mirror inside. And that's all because of the viewfinder. Viewfinder, by the way, is the part of the camera where you're able to look into and see essentially what your lens is seeing, see what's hitting your sensor. With mirrorless cameras, the way in which you're able to see through the viewfinder is done electronically. These cameras aren't as popular as they used to be, simply because of its size and simply because it's heavy, and generally people prefer more compact things. People prefer more portable things. Now again, there are a few other formats that I didn't discuss in this video, and I encourage you guys to research them. Some of them include these. And now with that concludes my first YouTube video here on How to Camera. I've talked a lot, and now it's your turn to talk. In the comments below, if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, if you have any corrections for me, leave them down below. I'll read them, and I'll pin them if they're worthwhile. If they're not worthwhile, better luck next time. Okay, bye.